Hey, yeah. Street pole boss vision. Got the timestamp of the crime, the conversation on the wire. 13 years deep, still stoking that old fire. Looking at the messages, frozen in that date. When you talk about my worth, sealing my escape. Said I was the drama, said I was the threat, but you were the auctioneers making the cold-hearted bet. My name on the chat log, tossed around like change, like a piece of furniture, easily rearranged, no respect. Now this is number one, spinning on the radio's wave. Every beat is a spade, digging the hole you made. Dig that, dig that. It's the echoes of the property line, played loud and clear. Every lyric a reflection, holding up the mirror to the chaos you embrace, the love you pushed aside. Hope you feel the silence, the consequence of your pride. Ooh, gotta feel it, yeah. Hope it feels like ashes every time it hits your ear. Cause the only thing you own now is the ghost of me right here. You used a child as a shield, weaponized the pain. Ignorant and homeless, throwing dirt to clear your stain. You fought over who knew me, who saved me from the fall. But in the end you both pushed me against the wall. You claimed my burden, said you took me off their hands. A dysfunctional family, built on sinking sands. Now the air is thin, and the lines are finally clean. You were left with the silence of the life of unseen. Check yourself. The beef that you were laughing at, the messy petty war, is the reason I don't answer calls and don't knock on your door. I was a human being, not a card that you could play. Now the truth is the rhythm that haunts you every day. Listen close. You asked who I'd acknowledge, who had my heart today. Well, it's the quiet freedom that took your breath away. I'm no longer in your book, no longer in your race. I traded your dysfunction for a piece you can't replace. Now this is number one, spinning on the radio's wave. Every beat is a spade, digging the hole you made. Dig that deep. It's the echoes of the property line, play loud and clear. Every lyric a reflection, holding up the mirror to the chaos you embrace, the love you pushed aside. Hope you feel the silence, the consequence of your pride. Gotta hurt now. Yeah, hope it feels like ashes every time it hits your ear. Cause the only thing you own now is the ghost of me right here. You wanted to fight, I chose to elevate. You wanted to gossip, I chose to seal the gate. Thought the drama was funny, a silly little game. But you traded your relation for a moment of fame. You can't buy this ticket, you can't afford a sound. The biggest loss you suffered is the one that you created when you talked me down. Think about it. Every station, every list, every gold record I get. You hear that? It's a reminder of the one mistake you can't forget. Street poet boss vision. You tried to possess me, but I set myself free. Hope you're really enjoying the misery. Yeah, feel that. say time heals all wounds, right? Sometimes time just documents the damage. Look at these timestamps, man. Frozen moments of disrespect. This ain't history, this is evidence. Got a date in a minute, stamped in 2 9s and 11s. Memory, the scroll of the email holding the heavy weaponry. I was just a subject, a variable to discuss. My worth measured in fury, not compassion or trust. They threw the blame fast, didn't bother to catch the facts. Just gossip and venom in these back and forth attacks. This ain't just words on the screen, it's the blueprint for the cut. Street poet is wild, man. They claim to be grown, talking about handling shit like a woman, but they throwing dirt in the public square, acting like children. The irony is heavy. The inbox war zone, firing shots in the public space. First of all, attitude, trying to set the pace. You talk about handling business, but you built a spectacle. Turned a private mess into a messy receptacle. You claiming high ground, but the feed proves you wrong. Wasting precious energy where you don't belong. You tried to shut me down, but the gossip ran free. The only entertainment here is your hypocrisy. Chatting in the shade where the truth gets distorted. The line between the grown and the child gets thwarted. A public exhibition, a miserable display of who knows me better, who gets to walk away. You traded dignity for drama, and look what you found. A hole you dug deep, 6 feet under the ground. I got no time for the circus. I left the tent behind. Vision. They run out of points, and what do they pull out? The low blows, the cheap shots. They try to tear down your character because they can't break your spirit. You get a lot of nerve in the low blow but my foundation's solid. You can't break me with a quick trick. You talk about family trees, but your branches are dry. Looking for a handout, living a painful lie. I read the thread closely, the bitterness and the rage. I see the person struggling, trapped in their own cage. Ugly exchange, the venom dripping slow. Every inside a mirror, showing where the spirits go. Downhill, when you got nothing left, you turn to the attack. But the hatred you send out is the misery that comes back. A cycle of deflection, a miserable broken spin. You think you're winning the argument, but the consequence begins.
Part. They use blood and marriage as weapons. Who acknowledged who? Like my existence depends on their permission slip.
He doesn't even acknowledge you, a sting right to the core. Like my value disappeared when I walked out the door. You fought for the title, the sister, the wife, the claim, while I stood on the outside watching you play the game. Such a way. How does Robert acknowledge you these days? The question hangs in the air. A cheap shot at loyalty, built on a mountain of despair. You traded them back and forth like a pawn on a board, claiming responsibility, but the actions were ignored. You say you saved me, but I was saving myself from being defined by titles stored on your shelf. You wanted to educate me on what I think I know, but the only lesson learned was the need to let you go. Who you acknowledge, that was never up to you. My worth ain't a Facebook status or a loyalty due. It's inherent. I am my own head, not waiting for your decree. The only one I answer to is a reflection of me. I stepped away from the contest to fight for the name. I let you keep the title, I burned away the flame. That's the truth, man. You can't fly when you're caught in the dirt. You gotta recognize the gravity. You gotta choose altitude over apathy. Read the message loud, the wisdom cut deep and clean. Eagle soar, rise above the toxic scene. You can keep the drama, the begging, the need for help. I chose the silent ascent, working on myself. You chase the scraps and the beef down in the low terrain, while I'm charting the skies, washing off the stain. You stayed in the argument, trying hard to prove your point, while I was packing my wings, ready to appoint my life to freedom, away from the misery's cold. Watching the Feud and Buzzards, waiting for the one to fall. I don't need to comment, I don't need to send a reply. My victory is visible, painted in the sky. The eagle and the buzzard, two paths clearly drawn. One feeding off the struggle, one chasing the dawn. Circle the sickness, I don't linger in despair. Never again. You stay down there kicking, I'm already out of sight. The separation is peace, the freedom is the light. You stay down there kicking, I'm already out of sight. The separation is peace, the freedom is the light. You keep saying goodbye, but you keep coming back, man. When I say the word, the door locks. Deuces means done, period. You try to end it with a shout, but I ended it with a plan. You said deuces at, and I finally understood my stand. You were begging for a reaction, hoping I'd fight back, but silence is the power when you step off the track. I don't think anything about you, I simply move past. The memory of your venom fades out fast. You kept firing off messages, trying to keep the thread hot, but my attention was gone. You were firing blanks at a dead spot. You wanted me to remember that disrespectful conversation, but I only remember the day I chose my liberation. You talk about not being done, but my decision is complete. I walked off the stage, leaving you to talk to the street. Deuces is the final word, the closing of the gate. I didn't lose son. The conversation's over, the credit has been spent. The fuel for my future is the misery you send. Conversation. Smooth beat, They couldn't tolerate me because I don't deal in fiction. They want puppets, I'm a realist. And for all the fake people out there, my truth is their poison. I am a realist, that's the badge that I wear. If you can't deal with the facts, I don't owe you a chair. You need to tolerate me, that's an insult I reject. My presence is a gift, not something to suspect. Take it or leave it. Sip your imaginary wine, spend your imaginary wealth. I'm built on real foundation, protecting my mental health. You call me ungodly, but your language was foul. I don't need your approval, I'm stepping out of your car. You want me to play nice, be fake just like you are. But I shine brighter now, I'm my own guiding star. You done with me, but the feeling is mutual and strong. The peace I found is where I truly belong. I'm a realist, not begging for your tolerancy. Take your fake asset and get away from me. I got no time for the phony, the misery and the strife. I'm focused on the genuine, the richness of my life. You are not a factor, you were never in the play. Just background noise that I deleted yesterday. Talk about God, right? But God is love. Forgiveness is the key, not for them, but for me. The biggest blessing wasn't what I gained. It was everything I left behind. They talk about the curse, I talk about the grace. I gave that drama to the higher power, found my place. Thank God. I forgave the bitterness, not for them to feel fine, but so the poison they threw couldn't penetrate my mind. I was fine before you, I'll be better since you're gone. The sun that shines on me is the new chapter I've drawn. You saw me in court, saw the lights surrounding me. That strength wasn't luck, it was the power of setting me free. I don't have hate in my heart. That baggage is too heavy. I dropped the weight and found my purpose. Ready. You thought you were winning, tearing down my life's wall, but I built a whole new kingdom, watching your empire fall. The blessing is the quiet after the hurricane clears. The sound of my own footsteps, overcoming all the fear. Walk straight. The heart has no hate. The spirit is refined. I left that broken system, left the madness behind. This is the victory, the final solid truth. I'm walking into my future, fueled by the strength of my youth.